Do you remember Saturday morning cartoons and the joy they brought to our lives while we grew up in the 90s? These cartoons made our childhood memorable. And here are the 90s cartoons you may have completely forgotten. Starting with Batman, the animated series. Everybody loves Batman. In the world of superheroes, Batman is a defining character who bridges the gap between superheroes with supernatural power and those who rise to prominence through grit and hard work. In 1992, the DC animated universe introduced people to the first animated series of Batman, which became a global franchise. Before this, Batman was just that vigilante character who dressed as a bat, and many kids liked it. However, in this animated series, the storylines were fleshed out, and the characters were more complex than before. Many critics believe this series marked a new landmark in superhero storytelling, as characters were no longer stock or flat, and the storylines were no longer basic. It also gave filmmakers more impetus to explore anti-heroes and create a complex story arc for them. The success of Batman, the animated series, proved that people are well receptive to anti-heroes. More importantly, the series also stayed true to the dark themes ascribed to the Batman character. So when the series came out in 1992, it wasn't surprising that it met with huge commercial success and received wide critical acclaim. The film received multiple Emmy Awards nominations and won multiple awards in its 7-year TV runtime. No doubt, nobody would reject the idea of bringing this remarkable cartoon to 2024. Other than the nostalgia attached, it was a great storyline that many would still appreciate. Still, on the topic of popular superhero-themed cartoons that many would still appreciate today, XMen, the animated series, ranks highly. This series needs no introduction. Just as the DC animated universe was hitting it big with the Batman series, Marvel Studios was also achieving remarkable success with XMen, the animated series. Also known as the XMen, this cartoon first aired on October 31st, 1992, and would become a household superhero cartoon for the next 5 years. The X-Men is about a group of mutants with superhero abilities whose many drives were to keep peace and ensure equality in the world. The X-Men series had popular X-Men characters from the comics, including Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Professor X, Storm, Magneto, and Jubilee. One of the main reasons for the success of the series was how the series presented a variety of themes, including social issues such as divorce, religion, and loneliness, while still giving that awesome superhero action-packed experience that kids could easily relate to. And then, when the series had a crossover with the Spider-Man animated series, it catapulted straight into more glory. Just like how the Batman series showed the idea of people loving a villain, X-Men also affirmed this with the character of Magneto. So it wasn't surprising that X-Men met with huge commercial success and would go on to become that superhero series everyone can't get enough of. Although superhero animated series were getting so much buzz in the early 90s, Pinky and the Brain met with a favorable commercial response when it first aired in the mid-90s. In 1995, Warner Brothers launched a sci-fi animated sitcom called Pinky and the Brain. The main characters first appeared in the earlier TV series, Animaniacs. However, producers of Animaniacs noticed the popularity of the characters, and so Pinky and the Brain spun off from the series. Pinky and the Brain is about 2 genetically enhanced mice in the Acme Labs research facility. The mice had 2 distinct abilities. Brain, as the name portrays, was a highly intelligent mouse. The Brain was also depicted to be very self-centered and full of schemes with the intention to dominate the world, which he demonstrated in each episode. Pinky was the good guy. He was open-minded and kind and had a more pleasing spirit than Brain. However, being the good guy also meant Pinky was feeble-minded. The series also featured the anti-hero theme, which was very much welcomed by people in the 1990s and has now become predominant in superhero animated series. In all of the episodes of the series, Brain, with the aid of Pinky, continually devised technically impossible schemes to subjugate the entire world, but these would continually fail. Interestingly, to Pinky, Brain's plans for world dominance were out of goodwill, and he only had the best interest of the world at heart. Back in the 90s, Pinky and the Brain was the cartoon every kid watched. Once a kid gets home from school, the TV channel is set to show the series. It had everything kids love. It was a sitcom, sci-fi, and had the anti-hero theme that every kid in the 90s craved. It was the complete cartoon, one that, if brought now to 2024, kids would love, and even older people would definitely not mind seeing. Since Pinky and the Brain made it on this list, it is only fitting that the cartoon it spun off from is also included. In number 4 is Animaniacs. While Pinky and the Brain was a sci-fi show, Animaniacs was a musical. It first aired in 1993 on the Fox Kids network before moving to Warner Brothers. Animaniacs ran for 5 years, airing one episode short of 100. Animaniacs offered something new in the cartoon world. It was a variety show with short skits. It featured an array of characters, each with an episode dedicated to their arc. This made the episodes happen in different places and at different times. The major characters of this series include Ralph, Dr. Otto Scratch and Sniff, Hello Nurse, Pinky, Brain, Flappy Squirrel, Slippy Squirrel, Good Feathers, Flavio, Marita, and Katie Kaboom. In each episode, the Animaniac characters communicate with famous real-life people and mythological creatures, making references to pop culture and using words that many people are familiar with. The episodes usually featured music, satire, social commentary, and pop culture references. These all made it click with the audience, who could easily relate to all the themes in the cartoon. The episodes also contained popular catchphrases that were trendy in the 1990s. It was easy to see why the series was very successful, as it was suitable for both the adult audience and kids. The series was so successful that Warner Brothers revived it in 2020. The revived animated series under the same name ran for 3 years with 36 episodes. While Animaniacs was suitable for adults and kids, the next cartoon on the list was a sort of self-reflection for kids. Number 5, Rugrats. Rugrats debuted in 1991 and would air for a remarkable 9 seasons. This animated television series was a success for Nickelodeon, who at that time wanted to present kids with something they could easily relate to and find relaxing. Rugrats was all about the day-to-day lives of a group of toddlers, namely Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil. The series focuses on their growing up, their experiences, and generally how toddlers imagine things and see life as one big adventure that ultimately leads to pleasure and fulfillment. Rugrats was so successful that it ran for 13 years and was, at the time, the 8th longest-running animated TV series in America. Other than SpongeBob and The Fairly OddParents, Rugrats was the longest-running Nickelodeon animated series. These all tell the success story of Rugrats, and it was easy to see why. It was that show that parents tuned into, sat their kids in a chair, and took care of other things in the house. Since kids absolutely love it, it takes their attention away from other things, giving parents ample time to deal with what they need to deal with. Unsurprisingly, Rugrats didn't shy away in the awards department. In its 13-year run, it won 4 Emmy Awards and 6 Kids' Choice Awards. We don't even have to debate if we want this series back or not. Rugrats' success already speaks for itself. In 2015, a reboot of the series was announced and aired in May 2021. It has since been renewed for a 3rd season, aired in March of this year. Next on the list is a cartoon series which, unlike Rugrats, was more adult-oriented. The Ren and Stimpy Show. The Ren and Stimpy Show also falls into the successful Nickelodeon animated series category. It was the 3rd cartoon in the Nicktoons series. The Nicktoons were 3 original Nickelodeon animated series of the 90s. They included The Ren and Stimpy Show, Doug, and Rugrats. Many critics labeled The Ren and Stimpy Show as the landmark of fusing adult themes in cartoons to make them more adult-oriented. The series, which first aired in 1991 for 5 seasons, follows the story of 2 friends, Ren Hoek, a psychotic Chihuahua dog, and Stimpy, a feeble-minded but good-natured cat who are always at odds. More than the commercial success of this series, people from the 90s would remember it because it was a show that generated lots of controversy, because it was an adult-oriented kids' cartoon. The controversy was not only from the audience. The program's staff also had a problem creating the series. Due to this, they had to remove or alter episodes that made references to religion, politics, violence, and many other social issues. Since the show already had adult-oriented themes, in 2003, a reboot titled Ren and Stimpy, Adult Party Cartoon aired. This was rated 18 and featured themes such as LGBTQ, violence, and nudity. However, this reception was not the same as the original animated series. It was so bad that the show was canceled after 6 episodes. Completing the original Nicktoons series, Doug is next on the list of nostalgic cartoons. Doug is a Nickelodeon animated series that aired from 1991 to 1999. It is part of the Nicktoons original and focuses on themes related to early adolescent lives. Doug was about the life of the titular character Doug Funny, an 11-year-old boy with a vivid imagination and an alter ego who navigates through elementary school in his new hometown, Bluffington, after his parents moved from Bloatsburg. The story tells of his challenges, which were typical of many kids in their early adolescence. Doug keeps a journal in which he narrates all his experiences throughout his preteen journey. Doug has a keen sense of justice and a polar view of things, with a strong stance on right and wrong. Since Doug is about preteen lives, it contains strong themes such as relationships, coming of age, self-esteem, and bullying. Many believed that this made Doug stand out from the other 2 Nicktoon animated series. It was therefore a favorite among many people in the 1990s. The fact that it was suitable for everyone, regardless of age, made it even more appealing. As expected, since it was a show with widespread critical acclaim, it won 4 Emmys and 2 Kids' Choice Awards, among many other awards. Last on the list is a show every kid in the 90s couldn't get enough of. In number 8 is Tiny Toon Adventure. Tiny Toon Adventure is an animated TV series that first aired in 1990 and ran for 3 seasons. It follows the story of young cartoon characters Buster and Bunny and their friends Plucky Duck, Hampton Pig, Elmira Duff, and Montana Max at a fictional university called Acme Luniversity, set in a fictional town called Acme Acres. In this fictional university, cartoon characters go there to learn how to crack jokes, be humorous, and make people laugh. Although the series met with commercial success, it was discontinued after just 3 episodes because Cartoon Network gave precedence to the more successful Animaniacs. However, in its 3 years of runtime, it won 7 Daytime Emmy Awards and received a Primetime Emmy nomination, among many other awards and nominations. The series also had many spin-offs and reboots, including The Plucky Duck Show, Pinky, Elmira and the Brain, and Tiny Toons Luniversity, which was released in 2023. One thing's for sure, this great list of cartoons proves that the 90s was a time of many great things. And these cartoons certainly form a part of our childhood memories. What 90s cartoon do you remember the most? Which would you like to watch again? Share your favorites in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more awesome content about your favorite childhood shows.